guys, welcome back. I went and picked up a couple poker machines today from a guy named Greg. I've bought stuff from him in the past here and there. I picked these up because of the monitors. Picked up two of them. Now, I know that this one works. That one, he says, the tube shot. He did try to rejuvenate the tube and it just wasn't coming up other than green in color. So more than likely, I'm gonna have to see what the yoke reading is on that one and see if I can't swap that chassis to another tube. It sucks because this tube has no burn-in. This one has a little bit of burn-in. Not horrible. I mean, I picked them both up. I paid 160 bucks for the pair. I figure if I can get the two monitors out of them, maybe I'll throw a flat screen in it, 60-in-1 board, and sell one for 200 bucks. I mean, really, you can't beat that. You know, if somebody's looking for a cheap 60-in-1 or multi-cade or something like that, a couple $100, you really can't go wrong. He said that he fixed a bill acceptor. The bill acceptor actually said it works in this one. Let's turn this one on. I gotta grab the cord, it's in my van, just to see what the monitor looks like. He briefly turned it on, but to be honest with you, I didn't really pay attention. All right, let's plug in this one. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at the other one, see if we can't take a yoke reading off of it. And I mean, I could take the yoke off of this tube as well. All right, let's just see if this... See if this pops up here. Yep, there it comes. These do have remote boards because they are a newer style monitor. Kind of bright in here right now. Looks like the red's up too high. But, okay, there's a screw. Let's open up the front. Grab a screwdriver here. Yeah, so here's the remote board. Obviously the red, you can't do the red unless you open up the back. But these things always had like a horizontal hold pot issue. I see zip ties a lot on these boards where they'll put a zip tie on that pot. I don't know what the deal is with that, but there we go, that looks a little better. Obviously the red's still up a little bit. But yeah, we got another working monitor here. Looks like it's too wide. Oh, that's actually shrunk down all the way. Looks, maybe it needs shifted. There we go. Okay, so it's a good working monitor. You can I can open up the back and see about screwing with that red a little bit. I'm going to turn the red down here. It's not too far off, really. I don't know if this back has a screw in it or how this works. Oh, you might have to lift the top up. I forget how this opens. I can't say that he even had the back open, to be honest with you. He might not have. Oh, there's some latches right here. All right. Because I'm going to pull the monitor out of here anyway, so I got to open the back up. Okay. I don't have my little mirror out here. This is just a... trying to look here at what brand monitor. It kind of looks like a Best Tech. Yep, that's what it is. It's a Best Tech monitor, and I actually have these in in a few games in the basement, and they're good monitors. They work until they break, and then you can't, unfortunately, find parts for them. Let me see if I can find the red pot here. Can't see. Can't see. I'm going to take a guess, and it's either going to be the left one is red or the right one's red. Grab a little screwdriver. But yeah, who wants to play Fruit Ninja or whatever the hell this game is? All right. I guess it would be fun for a few minutes. I'm not the gambling type, so I can't really say that I'd play it much. There we go. Now we got some gray on the screen. But yeah, no, it's a pretty nice looking monitor. A little too red, a little too high still. But okay, so we know that this, I could pop this monitor out. We could throw a flat screen in here. I believe I have 160 on one board that we could put in that one. We could power this on. I don't have a board in here, but that sucks because that tube has zero burn. There's actually a screen bezel in this one. Looks almost looks like a Williams one. And I don't really mess with these much. I've had some over the years, but to be honest with you, I don't know much about them. Open up the back on this one. Oh God, turn off that other one. No point leaving it running. I mean, the cabinets are a little beat up on the bottom, but like I said, you know, if somebody wants a little multicade for their garage or something, that would be freaking nice to have. Especially if I put a flat screen in it, because it'll be pretty reliable at that point. This is a Wells Gardner, and he left the jammer harness in it for me to put a 60 in one or whatever I want in there. This is a Wells Gardner, some newer monitor. I don't even know what it would be considered. I'm not sure. So to open the front, you got to open the top up to get the front glass out. Plexiglass. But I want to take a yoke reading on this monitor and see what it is, the tube. It really does suck that that tube is screwed up. But he said that it was reading, red and blue are reading dead on his rejuvenator. He said he rejuvenated it and it worked for a second and then it was showing dead again, so the tube must just be shot. Let me grab my multimeter. All right, I got my piece of crap multimeter that I have out here. Let's do the red and blue. Oh, that was on volts. Okay, the green and yellow are at 14.5. The blue and red are 2.1. That's pretty much a K7000 chassis. Don't know if I'm gonna have a tube with a yoke on it that would be that readings. I can check and see, because I honestly would like to switch this around and see if I can get it to work. Trying to look for a part number on this chassis. It almost looks like a K7000 chassis, but it's, well, can't find a part number on the board. I mean, there's a bunch of numbers, but it's definitely not the part number. There's some markings on the side of the frame, but it might be on the side of the frame. It's not going to be on the tube, so if anybody's ever looking to try to find the number for their chassis, it's never on the tube. The number on the tube is for the tube. It has nothing to do with the chassis itself, because that tube could be used in multiple different style chassis. It doesn't really, no rhyme or reason to it. Out of curiosity, that Best Tech monitor, we can pull the yoke wire on this. No, I did not discharge the monitor, but I'm not going to touch the anode cup in any way, shape, or form. We're going to pull those two yoke wires and just see what the reading is on this tube, just out of curiosity. So we have our red and blue, 2.0, 1.9, 2.0, 14. This tube, that chassis would work on this tube. So in theory, I could take that chassis, put it on this tube, and it would work as long as that chassis is good. Maybe we do that to see if that chassis is in fact good. But the problem is this has more pins than that one. That one is not a 9-pin like this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 9-pin. This is a 7-pin. So that does make a difference. Yep. Wait, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, this is a 7-pin. This is a 9-pin. So we could not put that chassis on here because it's not going to work. So let me go look around and see if I have any 7-pin monitor tubes, and I'll do some readings and I'll come back. Okay, so quickly, I didn't go up here because there's a bunch of stuff up here. I guarantee there's some more 7-pin monitor frame or monitor tubes up there. I grabbed 3 of them that I had. This is a K7000 small neck. This is a K7000 small neck. I actually have this right here. Actually, this one went on this one because somebody had cut these yoke wires. So I actually would like to test this today and see if this one works. This one doesn't have any screen burn. This one has screen burn, and so does that one. But this one right here, I took this off of a frame that was the identical board on that same chassis as that one. So let's pop the tube out of this one, leave the frame in the game for now, and let's slide that tube in here, plug it in, and just see if this chassis works or if it's the chassis that's messed up and the tube isn't bad. But if I were to guess, I would say that Greg is correct and the tube is probably shot, which is not the end of the world. I just got to figure out, I got to open up this lock up here. I'm going to need a Phillips screwdriver. So I'm going to grab a Phillips screwdriver, a little stubby one, and we'll get the top open so we can get the screen off the front. Pull this tube, slide the other tube in there, and see what happens. If I get one more freaking phone call from a lending group, I keep getting phone calls like people want to give me a loan. I don't want a loan. I swear to God. They just won't leave me alone. It's like relentless. This screwdriver might even be too long. Yep, I have to go get a little ratcheting one. So now we can open this top up. This should not have a charge anymore. All right, we're gonna leave that mounted onto the frame. We took the anode cup off. We got our degauss coil. Unplug that. And then we have our ground or neck board. Unplug that. So we can go around the front and should be able to unbolt that tube from the frame and slide the tube out. Man, that looks just like a Williams almost. Almost. But these are gold these days, man. Hang on to these things. I can't believe this tube's bad. It sucks. Wells Gardner 1972. I don't know. So I need a 3/8 socket, it looks like. Grabbing that real quick. The shop's a mess. Kind of hope it's the chassis. I'd rather have the nice tube. All right, just carefully set that down. All right, I'm gonna grab the tube right here, or stick this one in. They're dirty and stuff, and I don't really care right now. If they work, I'm gonna put a piece of tape on them, say working, and when I go to use them for something, I can just clean them up at that point. Kind of pointless to clean them up right now if they're just gonna sit around until they get used. They're just gonna get dirty. This, trying to see the screen burn. I don't know what it, something say, it says Sega right there. Can't read it though. And yes, I'm gonna remember to put the neck board on. Okay. Go back around the back here. You know what I should be doing? Well, I should be taking the whole monitor out. And you know what, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll take the whole monitor out of here and set it on a stool behind this other game and plug that 60-in-1 into it. That might be the smarter idea. Now I know for sure this tube's dead. This thing has not been connected to anything for God knows how long. But we can fire up the monitor first to see what it does. The only downfall is that I'm gonna have to make a little ground wire for the neck board. Okay, so I plugged in, I gotta get the degauss coil, which is on the wrong side. Is it on the wrong side? Yep, sure is. Is it long enough? Will it make it? Can I make it? Come on, baby. I mean, I could always cut the zip ties and spin it around. Oh, you know what? It's got a knot in it. Maybe that'll help. Take this knot out. It's in a shitty spot. All right, that's plugged in. We gotta get the neck board plugged in, the yoke plugged in. Okay, yoke's plugged in. Yoke's plugged in, anode cup is on. Degaussing coil's on. We need to extend this ground wire. Let me do that real quick. All right, so I made a little extension here. Hopefully it'll fit in here. Okay, then I took a butt connector and cut off the sleeve on the one side. Perfect. Now we can stick this on. Okay. So let's double check our work. We got power, neck ground, degauss coil, anode cup, neck board. So we should be able to fire this up. Just see if the monitor turns on. If it does, you might be able to just scoot the cabinet over to the other one. I don't know if this works or not. Yeah, I heard it turn on. Probably won't see anything because okay, it's turned on. All right, so I'll see if I can scoot this over. All right, I had to run and grab another plug. I might have to move the sink wire over. It's probably in the wrong spot. All right, so we getting anything on here? Getting some static. Okay, that's a sink wire issue. To be honest with you, it might be the chassis. Even though that's sink wire, something might be wrong with that chassis. And it's tiny. The screen is tiny. But that has to probably do with the sink wire. Yeah, it looks to be a chassis issue, not a tube issue, which would be nice because I would really like to have that burn-free tube. So let me try switching the sink wire. Let me check something real quick here. Okay, I switched the sink wire. And if you notice, the screen's green only. That means it could be a color transistor on the neck board. Which, to be honest with you, I'm fine with that because that burn-free tube would be awesome. Let me just move this over here. So, in theory, if I could figure out why we don't have red and blue, I could leave this chassis on this tube that has some screen burn and then take a K7000 chassis and try it on that tube that came in this cabinet. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys. And yes, I very carefully set it down. It's not getting slid around. It's not getting scratched up. Once you start sliding those things around on concrete or a metal table, then you get scratches in your screen. So usually I'll put a towel down, but I don't have any towels out here right now. So why do I not have blue and red? I wonder what kind of transistors are on this neck board. Let me take a look and then I'll come right back. They are C30 3953s. There's 3 color transistors on the neck board. If I were to guess, I would think that they were shorted out. In theory, should be able to swap the red wire. I wonder if I could swap the red wire and the blue wire and see if it comes on. Okay, so here's what I'm going to try. I don't have any of those transistors in the basement. So I'm going to take the green wire out, and we're going to take the yellow or the red or the blue, and we'll swap it in place for the green. Just want to see if the colors change on the monitor or not. So we know that green is second. It goes red, green, blue. So let's pop the red into the green spot. Let's plug this in. Let's see if by chance we get green or red to come up on the screen. Still green, okay. I thought that would work. I thought you could swap them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something else wrong. Okay, so what I did was I just put a label on here. I just wrote green only, and then the transistor is a 3953. I'll order a couple of those and we'll try it and see if that corrects the problem or not. The funny thing is the only one that's testing bad is the green transistor. But I believe if one of the transistors shorts out a certain way, it could only produce one color, I think could happen. Not positive, don't quote me on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop this monitor out of this cabinet, and then we're gonna try the next monitor. Okay, so this monitor here I have not tested yet, and I just took it out of I actually had it in my van outside, that red van sitting back there. I have never even turned this on or anything, so I don't even know if this even works. So we're gonna plug in, should be able to steal the power from this cabinet. We have our wires here. There. Okay, where's the power wire at? Where's the power wire? I know I unplugged this monitor. Here it is. The question is can I rig it into here? Damn it. Sure we can. Stick this back in here. We know that this is a good working monitor. Now this one I know zero about. I heard it. See if we get anything on the screen. Okay, rolling image, not a big deal. So we have another working monitor, and this is a vertical monitor. So what do we need here? We need vertical or horizontal hold. Actually, this monitor looks halfway decent. Dirty. Does have some dark screen burn in it. Contrasted brightness. So that's actually not too bad. I'm not going to sit here and adjust it and crap. Try the horizontal position real quick. You know what? The screen is a little small. Not too bad, guys. You can definitely see a little bit of the dark screen burn. There definitely is some dirt on here. Once that comes off, it definitely looks a lot better. Just looking here real quick. Wonder if that horizontal width coil would open up a little bit, but that's a pretty damn good looking picture. To be honest with you, it's actually really nice. Better than the one that's in that cabinet right now, but once again, I haven't really messed with that one in the cabinet much. All right, let me see if I can open this width coil up. It's a hell of a lot better. Ouch. What did I do? Oh, I unplugged it. The wires are just pushed into the connector. All right, this one's awesome. I'm happy with that one. So I'm gonna stick a piece of tape on it, grab my marker. So put this piece of tape up here. I'm gonna put working K7000. K7000. So, and I'm going to put, looks real good. So that I know that when this was tested, it looked really good. So now I'm going to take this off and we're going to take that last monitor, put it into the frame, and then we'll check that one next. Okay, let's put this frame onto this tube. I actually like testing monitors on a game more than I do on the bench. I don't know why. I guess it just, to me, it's just, I don't know, it gives you a little bit better of a look at it. So I believe this other K7000 here should work. This frame's definitely going to need some cleaning and a paint job. But I need a couple vertical monitors, and that's one right there. The stupid clip came out of this thing that holds the nut. Grab a screwdriver so we can pop that back in. I'm waiting on parts to come for the G07 that I screwed up. Okay, that's back in. And hopefully I can fix that G07. If not, I'll send it off to the monitor guy. Oh, speaking of monitors, I have 3 4600 monitors coming back from the guy that did the monitors for me. His name is, what's his company name here? I think I left the business card in here. Yes, I did. This is his name. If you guys ever need any monitor stuff, check him out. But, so I can't remember if he said both of them are working or one of them's working, but whatever. I'll have another monitor up and running. But the one 4600 that I made a video on, and I said it was kicking my butt and I couldn't figure it out, he could not figure it out either. So there is a short somewhere that neither me or him could figure out. So I have no idea what's wrong with the damn thing. But it'll probably just be a parts chassis, and I'll just find another 4600 working chassis. And like I said, when I use these, I'll clean them up. I just need to start getting some of this stuff sorted out and working. To be honest with you, I need to label everything because I just don't know what everything is anymore. I have so many monitors laying around that I just don't know anymore. Okay, shit. I have no real way to mount this. I'm gonna have to get some sort of legs to mount this. Let me see here. It's gonna go this way. That can fit in there. Problem is, that'll hold that part of the board up, but this back part here, I gotta figure out a way to hold that. Or I just take that clip out, bend it down, and I'll grab 4 PCB legs, these plastic ones like this, and we'll put those on there and mount that. That's probably what I'll do. I'll have to run to the house and grab those. We have, I'm just looking here, somebody spliced these wires, which is fine for now. I don't care. These are house wires. You could tell by they're stiff, but this plugs into the neck board. All right, and then we have this wire here, which plugs into the tube. But this is our degauss. Here, this plugs in here. So yeah, let me go grab some of these feet real quick. Okay, let's put those legs on this PCB. I'm gonna bend this tab down, maybe. Jesus, it's easier said than done, apparently. There we go. That one we can leave there. I don't see that being a problem. Now there is an isolation transformer in this cabinet, so we do not have to worry about that. I do have another chassis in the house we could check on that tube that I originally took out of that cabinet over there, that burn-free tube. I don't know if the chassis works. I think it's a K7000, but it has a remote board. But I know that some K7000s have remote boards. This one always never goes in because of that stupid big capacitor right there. So we put 3 of them in, and the 4th one, it'll just sit on that tab right there so it doesn't bottom out onto the metal. Of course, that fell on the floor. Why wouldn't it? I don't know if you guys find this interesting, but I try to record all this stuff I do. Now, I noticed that the neck board is not completely plugged in. Fly back faces the back. Get off my shirt. Got some self-tapping screws here. Now, if you're wondering, the red and blue are always spaced out farther than the green and yellow on the yoke wires. The only way you can screw these up is by cutting them into 4s, and then you could plug them in backwards. And at that point, I don't know exactly what happens, but I'm guessing it's probably not real good. And I would really like to not find out. There we go. Now we got our degaussing coil. Okay, that's plugged in. We got to plug our neck in. Neck's plugged in, our ground wire to our neck. Okay, so we have our yoke wires, we have our degaussing coil, we don't have our anode cup yet. Once again, monitor hasn't been on in a long, long time. I hate these damn ones with the metal in there. Okay, so we are completely hooked up. Let's get it over here to the stool. This is a nice tube. These wires we need to be really careful with. We'll mess with them here in a second. Just want to get this all plugged in, then I'll mess with those. Where the hell is my other plug at? There it is. Okay, now, make sure my wires are not touching anywhere. Okay, we're free of everything. I heard it turn on. Okay, we got a scrambled screen. Getting somewhere. Tell you what, that's going to be a nice picture, I think. Oh, tell you one thing, my back hurts from bending over. So awesome getting old. God, I love it. All right. Okay, screen's too big. Vertical size. I think that's vertical size here. Okay. Horizontal hold maybe. Beautiful. Got some scrambled screen up there. A little bit of a scramble going on over there. I don't know what to make of that yet. That honestly could very well be a cap because the caps look kind of shitty on this monitor. They're pretty rusty looking and shit. So I would not be surprised if that's not a cap issue there. So I'm not gonna really be too concerned about it because I'm pretty much willing to bet that's what that is. Let me try something else. Try the vertical size now. Let's see if I can open that with coil a little bit. Nope. Doesn't feel like it wants to move, but you know what? It's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to write on this one that it works. It's a K7000. So it works. K7000. I'll put needs cap kit. And and it needs a degaussing, but I'm not worried about that either. All right, so we'll put this off to the side. I actually have a 4600 monitor sitting in the van too. So let me go grab that. Actually, let me take you out there. I want to show you something. I eventually want to redo this van. It's a little rough, but I got this van for free. Needs a new motor. I was gonna fix the rust, put a new motor in it. It's sagging right now because it's full of building materials, but I was gonna put a new motor in it and tow a camper with it. I think it'd be pretty nice. But look at this monitor right here, guys. Me and my buddy redid this thing perfectly redid it to where it looks 1000% brand new. This is my Tempest monitor. Was it 6100? Wish I had two of these because I need one for Space Duel. But over there is a 4600. Once again, I know nothing about that, but we're testing some monitors. Let's just get this out of here and test it. And then I can label it as if it works or not, and we can move on. But yeah, look at this thing. I took the case, I sandblasted the case. We cleaned up where the transistors go, took the paint off because I painted it. I painted this part black. I painted all the screws, everything, so that it looks brand new. New connectors. So this thing 100% works. And hopefully it stays working. It's actually sitting in the van because I'm too damn nervous to put it anywhere else and do some damage to it. So this monitor came from California. Buddy has a guy out there that does bring signs to Ohio. And also, real quick, we put a cooling fan on it too. So I need to wire this into the cabinet when I put the Tempest together. But my buddy gets monitors delivered, or not monitors, he gets neon signs delivered from California. And that monitor just happened to be a half an hour from the delivery guy's house. And he's like, sure, I'll pick it up. He's like, I'll strap it into my front seat for you. He didn't charge me much, $100 I think, to bring it from California, but he was already coming here, so it worked out pretty good. But yeah, my back building, all my materials are sitting in this van. Not all of them, but a lot of them. My front garage is full too. All right, I'm gonna get this 4600 out of here. Let's go get it in there, hook it up, and see if this works. All right, let's get this one plugged in. This one does have some screen burn. From what I can see, what I can read out, it says high score up here. It says player 1, player 2. And then it says destroy enemy tanks. Defend our something, I can't read. And then down here it says game over. I think it has Pac-Man burn and some other game burn. But if anybody knows what that is, destroy our tanks, enemy tanks and stuff like that, let me know. I'm curious. I offhand do not know what that is. So let's get this one plugged in. The old 4600. Daughter boards. Pin number 1 should be red. Once again, no clue if it works. Need to spin this. The wires are short. Okay, let's double check. Anode cup's hooked up. Yoke wires are hooked up. Neck board is on. I don't think that neck board's ever been off. Looks like the original silicone's still holding on. Oh boy. That's all we need is to drop the monitor on the floor. That'd be fucking awesome. The coil is in the hole slot. I think we're all hooked up. Our degauss is hooked up. Both of these daughter boards are in place. Let's fire it up, see if it works. I heard it. Ooh, boo. We got collapse. Wiggled the daughter board. Now we don't have collapse. Stop rotating. Boy, that looks like complete ass. Red's up like fucking 8,000,000%. Brightness is up. That's to fly back down all the way. I forget how these monitors adjust. Black level. There we go. Fucking that thing was cranked to sky high. Red. Okay, we got some pinching. I think this is brightness here. That's doing absolutely nothing. What do we got here? You know what, the red drive might be up real high. You got to give a 4600 monitor this. The black is always black on these things. So I'm going to go ahead and say that we need a cap kit. And why the hell is it hugging the right side of the screen so bad? I don't know if there's adjustments for that on this board. Let me think here. Oh man. Yeah, we got a bad, we got some bad solder joints, I think, on this daughter card here. As you can see, it just went out on me when I was trying to adjust it. let me actually pop it out and back in. Probably bad solder joints, which is not the end of the world. There it is. All right. Oh, there it goes. That, my friends, is a bad solder joint. So I think what's happening, if I were to guess, I would say it's heating up and causing it to do that. So we'll say we'll write down that it works. We'll do a Wells Gardner 4600 works. Needs a cap kit. Needs caps. And we'll write down video card. Video card issues. Turn it back on. I'm curious to see if it'll come back up. Actually, let me look at the card. See if I can actually physically see some solder joints being bad on it. Now, it could be on the card. It could be on the board, the main board, that the solder joints are bad. This doesn't look horrible, but just because solder joint doesn't look bad, still could be messed up. So you got to keep that in mind. If I were to guess, I would say it's where the pins are coming out of the main board. On the bottom side of that are probably have cold solder joints on them, but that's not the end of the world. So we're doing pretty good today. It works. Just needs a little work to it. Not the end of the world. Plug it back in one more time. Okay, let me leave that clamp off of there. Nope. See, when I wiggle this board around, it comes and goes. Yeah, it's on the main board. Okay, no big deal. It works. It needs a little adjustment and some work, but it is technically working. So we have this one labeled. Now I'm going to grab another K7000 small neck chassis, and I don't know anything about it. I have no clue if it works or not, but we're going to try it on the tube that I took out of this cabinet originally that has no screen burn. So I'm going to go grab that, and I need to grab a frame as well. I got to walk back to the house again. So this is another K7000 7-pin for a skinny neck. This one has a remote board. So it's kind of confusing why some of these do and some of them don't. I don't get it. I don't understand. But so I know nothing about this. It's really clean. I don't know if it works or not. We're going to see, because we're going to put it onto that tube right there. I got to grab a frame, and then we'll get that mounted on and see if it works. Fingers crossed. I hope it does. And then it'll be a pretty good day. So far, we have a total of 4 working monitors. We have 3 right here that do work, need a little work. That one in there works. I might do a little bit more adjusting on that on this video. Kind of a long video, but I'm kind of showing you the process of me looking through stuff. I need to talk to that Greg guy and see if he has more of those plastic bezels. I wouldn't mind stealing some. Even if they're not exact, it's still better than not having one. You know what I mean? I'm going to order transistors for that tonight. I need to order more standoffs for the PCBs because I'm literally running out of these guys. I've been using these a lot lately. I haven't used these things in years. And now it seems like every other fucking day I'm using one. And I had a whole big pile of them. I dropped one. I had a whole big pile of them in my cabinet, and now I don't. So I'm going to get some more ordered. So I'm going to go grab dinner, and then I'll grab a frame, and we'll put this last tube together for tonight and see if we can get it to work. I do have another 4600 out in the back building. There's a couple back there, actually. I don't know if I want to keep testing or not, but we'll see. All right, I'm going to put that tube on that frame. How did I lose a washer? Why is that not? Oh, loosen the drill. Why the hell is that not tightening? Somehow lost a washer. There it is. Now, I'm not expecting this chassis to work because it's kind of been sitting on a shelf, and I'm just kind of thinking it was sitting on the shelf because it probably didn't work. But not a big deal, we'll fix it. Not tonight, but another day. Grab a couple self-tappers. Can't believe I'm still having to use the shop heater. It's 48 degrees out right now in May. We still have that TV that I got. And I have a 40 or a K7000 chassis for that. And I don't know if that chassis works either. But we should do that one day too. Put that tube into a monitor arcade frame and see if we can get that to fire up. Just trying to get more organized because I need to know what's what. let me grab a couple self-tappers real quick. We have the degauss coil hooked up and the yoke wires. Spin that, clip this in there. We got our ground for our neck board, which is different than this ground. So we will just have to splice these two together. Not the end of the world. Neck board. So I gotta splice that together. Anode cups on. Degaussing coil. Yoke wires are hooked up. All right, I'll just have to cut those two and splice them together. Looks like somebody already has this cut right there on it. Oh. Maybe I'll get lucky and the damn thing will work. Probably not, but maybe I'll get lucky. The best way to hook these up when they're like this is to twist them and put a regular electrical cap on there, one of those twist-on ones, because then if you have to get back into the chassis, you can, take that wire nut off. Just makes it a lot easier for servicing in the future. Oh, I'm really asking for it tonight on that damn stool. Swear to God, I'm gonna drop the damn monitor on the ground. All right, now I need some power. Let's turn this again. Since this has a neck board, the only pot on the main board is a horizontal hold pot. But like I said, I don't think this is going to fire up. Well, I feel static. Okay. Damn, that thing's huge. Fucking works. Sorta. Jesus. Why is it so big? What the heck's going on here? My black level. thing's freaking out. Flyback's up too high, I think, for starters. What the hell? I just don't get why it's so damn big. It's big this way and that way. The width coil, I guess, could get turned out. I guess I could start with that. I only have a... Guys, don't use a metal Allen key like I'm using. You won't really short anything out as long as you don't hit the frame, but it gets hot. That's what you got to be careful of. The damn thing will burn you. But as long as you're careful. I don't think this is the right size for this one. Maybe. There, I'm dialing it in. Shift it over after. Yeah, this thing will be extremely hot. If you touch that, it's going to be hot. You definitely want to use a plastic one. Don't be dumb like me. Where the hell is the horizontal size? Oh, it's position. Okay, we're getting better. I mean, this could be why it was sitting on the shelf. Maybe the picture was just so huge that I just tossed it onto the shelf. Still too big. What if I have an Allen key a little bit smaller than this one? Or a little bit bigger, rather. It's a 2.0, maybe it's a 2.5. Because it feels like it's slipping a little bit in there. No, it's actually coming out. I can only go so much more. I mean, it's almost up to the top of the width coil. A little bit more I can go. Just wonder if that width coil is just out of spec or something. I mean, we're about there now. What the hell is that noise? bill acceptor or something making a weird noise. Vertical size. See, we're all the way down on vertical size. So I can't get it to go any down anymore. That's kind of strange, but I don't know why it's doing that. What would make the vertical size so big? Could that be a capacitor issue? I don't know. I don't think there's any adjustment for that. Oh, it's the speaker making that noise. Thinking here, I'm thinking. I mean, it looks pretty damn good. Blue's up too high. There we go. Well, no, see on the bottom of the screen gets all effed up. I don't know if that's a capacitor deal or not. I really don't. That one's got me a little puzzled. I'm gonna look it up. I need to power this down, and I need to check the resistor, R80 resistor. It should be 5.6 ohms. I'm going to say that it's the wrong resistor in there, and that's making the image too tall. So let me see if I can get to it by it being in here. I'm looking for it. Where are you at, R80? Where's R80 at? Come on. Don't see it. I mean, I'm probably going to have to pull the chassis out. But I'd like to see if I can put a smaller resistor in there and fix that real quick. Let's pull the chassis out. I'm going to do it off camera. I don't have my screwdriver back here. I'm going to have to get one out of the back room. Good news is I can just get a long screwdriver and go from there. I'll show you real quick. I think this screwdriver's long enough. Nope. Shit. Got the long guy. So, as long as you don't touch your monitor frame or anything, keep your hand only on the rubber handle. Don't put one hand on the shaft. And we can just arc it right to this. And we're not getting anything. Okay. I know that certain chassis will automatically discharge when they turn off. I don't know on a K7000 if it does that or not. Clearly we didn't get any sort of an arc, so it very well might. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Always just test it, guys. You know, you'll see me rip off anode cups without doing that, but I know that a lot of these monitors have been sitting in the back building for months or years, and by that point, if you were to get shocked, it's going to be like static electricity. It's not going to be bad. But, you know, just be cautious. You know, I joke around about it sometimes, but I mean, in the end, you still got to be a little bit cautious. So I'm going to pull this chassis off. And we're going to see if we can find our 80 resistor and check it on ohms and see what the reading is. And see, it's supposed to be 5.6. So I'm hoping that it's low. Like a 3, 3.5, 2 point something. Because then we can swap that out and hopefully that'll solve the issue of being too tall. But, you know, when I looked it up, the chassis I looked up was actually the ones with the, there was no remote board. So I might not be resistor R80. I'm not sure on this one. Okay, so we got to pull the yoke wire. And the degauss. All right. Take this over to the bench. Another thing, guys, this guy right here, this big capacitor will hold electricity. If you put it on that stainless steel bench over there without a towel underneath it, or if you don't discharge that cap, you can get shocked by it. I've gotten shocked by it before. So keep that in mind. That does hold electricity, especially when it's just been turned off. So we're going to stick a towel underneath it because I don't want to have it arcing onto the stainless steel countertop. If you have a piece of wood or something like that, obviously you won't have that issue. And I probably should see if I could spin this out a little bit more while it's off. Do that first real quick. Everything's got to be odd sizes. The head's in the way, I'm sure. Okay, got that to spin quite a bit. Now, if it's a little too small, we should be able to adjust it out with the remote board. So now we're looking for R80. I'm not sure if R80 is on this one or not. I'd imagine it is. R68, 67, 56. Is it labeled on the backside? Nope. Oh, you know what? We got those legs on there too. That's holding it up off the table as well. R70. It's got to be somewhere right in this area. It's got to be. R107, R78. Where the hell are you at? I wonder if it's, I bet you it's R78. There's a relay. There's a resistor on R78, and the end of this board is labeled V position and V size, okay? Right here, it's labeled V position and V size. I'll bet you that's the resistor right there. And it could be a different number. Like I said, the one I looked up was the one where all the pots were on the back of here. This chassis has the remote board. So, I believe we can test this in circuit like this. What did I say it needed to be? 5.6? Says 5.2. Unless I'm not reading the right one, unless there still is an R80 somewhere. All right, let me not waste time on the camera. Let me pause this for a minute and I'm gonna look around. All right, guys. I'm on Charlie from Overtime's live right now, trying to finish up this last monitor chassis for tonight. I actually cut the resistor right here to see what it would do, and the picture got enormous when I put it back on. So this is a 5.2, but this is position R78. It's not 80. There is no 80 on this board because this is a little bit different than the other board. Sorry. Super chat donation. Thank you so much for that, Alex C. What's up, everybody? Definitely have some time to play Joust. So this resistor was reading 5.2. Okay, according to the regular K7000 with all the knobs on the back, it's supposed to be a 5.6. Okay, it's not very 5.2 to 5.6 is not very much. So I brought out a 10K. I brought a 4.7K, and I brought a 5.6K. So I don't know which one I should do. Should I start with the 5.6? Now these are half watt ones. In here, these are quarter watt, but I'd rather have a little bit bigger one. I do have some quarter watt ones, but screw it. I grabbed these first. So I guess I'll just start with the 5.6 in there, and we'll see what happens. I got to go grab my solder gun. Oh, I just burned myself with my solder gun. I smell hair. I guess we'll start with the 5.6. I don't frickin' know. And I don't even know if this is the right position to be screwing with it. But we'll try it. I don't have my desoldering gun because I'm not in the basement. So we're going to do this the old-fashioned way, hopefully. And pop this bad boy out. Maybe. Start mission again. Asteroid threat. These games are designed to take money from players and earn money. Earn money for the owners, for the operators. So don't ever think that fun was the most important thing. That's not great. Let's get that asteroid. Almost. That's not good. I might be using a little bit too big of tools here, guys. Oops. I would have shook the machine, but I'm like, my arms are fully extended, my elbows are locked, and I don't have enough leverage to shake the machine because I'm reaching around the damn it. Camera. Still with me, Sean, right? Okay. Guess we'll try the 5.6. I don't frickin' know. Acting a fool. Choose mission. We'll do Q's challenge. And choose the mission. Forgot my solder. So all we have to do here is hit the flashing targets. How's it going, Ted? I'm making a video while talking to everybody on here. All right, let me go grab some solder.
much enjoy.
Okay.
Holy smokes. Long-time channel member, huge fan, and a personal friend, Jerry Voluptuous, with a, basically a $2
What's up, Jerry?
billion super chat donation. No comments, so Jerry, you got to pick a game. There we go. We just earned a free game on Star.
Hopefully I don't forget to put the neck board on again.
Track. Doing what we can this run. Okay.
All right, let's go try this. I'm just going to stop for a minute. I'll get it all plugged in and then we'll turn it on. Let's test that resistor before I turn it on. Just out of curiosity.
Troy's making a video right now while in the live chat. Hopefully you're editing and
See, now it's saying 9.9.
otherwise that could get weird. All right, shoot left red for worm.
So it says 9.9. So that's a big difference from 5 point. And that's the 5.6. It was reading 5.2 on that old resistor that I cut out. So let me plug this in and we'll see what happens. I went to put this back on, okay? And I'm starting to plug it back in. And look what I've noticed. The freaking flyback wire is not even in here. Look at this. I don't even think there's any solder on it.
If you traded me something cool, that might be the video
How crazy is that?
this weekend, that pickup video. So
Now, I hate trying to get these caps off of here.
okay. And we're moving over here to my vertical bit kit cabinet to play Anteater, which is a
You can tell somebody had it open because there was a nick on that plastic. Look at that.
Anteaters for stringer.
Solder was not even really on there.
The super chat donation and for being a channel member. You're awesome, my friend. All right.
Lucky I didn't frickin' plug it in and not realize that.
Just a tiny bit more. A tiny bit more. That's too much. That looks good. All right. And we will switch to go to the BitKit menu, pick from our vertical games. Anteater was recently, or it was last year, it was a game of the week on the channel member Discord. We do weekly tournaments, and Anteater was a fun one that we did. Got a lot of games in there. Let's get to Anteater. Here we go. There we go. Anteater, very fun game. You can see my high scores that are saved by the BitKit. And the only place I've ever seen an Anteater on location is
I knew there was a hole in there.
Arcade in New York.
So I slid the wire into the hole.
I was very sad.
And now we can stick some solder around it.
I used to go to the arcade in Jersey City all the time.
I can't believe that.
It just closed permanently.
I don't think it was soldered, guys. Could it just have been touching? Fuck crazy.
Don't worry, the games are fine. Arcade has like a dozen locations.
All right, let me get this hooked up. All right, see what happens. Whoa. That thing's huge. It's even bigger than it was. So that means that we need to go the other way to a smaller. Guessing here, guys. I'm guessing. Definitely, you know what though? You know what? Hold on. horizontal hold. It's good right to left now. Okay, so let's try the smaller one, the 4.7, and see what that does. I'm going to go ahead and do that and then put it back in here, and we'll turn it on again and see what happens. So that got worse down there. So I don't know what to make of this yet. Okay, I'm going to plug in the video wire, and then we will power it on. I got a 4.7 in there now. Now, I don't know if I'm supposed to be 4.7K or 4.7 ohm. I don't know. A little better, I would say, I think. Okay, I think it's better, guys. So let me go get a smaller one. Let me go get see if I have like a 3.3 or something like that. All right, I tried a ton of different resistors in there, and this is the best I can get it. It's still too big. You can sort of see the horse camel thingy, whatever that is at the top, but it's still too big. So I think that is probably not the problem. It's probably a different resistor. Just not sure yet. I'm gonna have to do some research on it. It could be the, maybe it's the pot on the remote board. I doubt it, but you never know. I mean, the picture looks great. Color looks good. This tube is awesome. Nothing wrong with this tube. So we have 4 working monitors right now. You know, they need a little bit of work here and there, but really successful day, I think. Once I get this figured out, then this is probably gonna be the best monitor out of all of them. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Kind of a boring video, but I figured I'd show you my process of going through some of these and getting some of these damn things working and labeled so I know what is what, and not just pulling monitors off shelves and hoping and praying that they work. I'm actually gonna spend a minute or two and adjust that one, and then I'll come back and end this video. All right, I adjusted this one and I made my note. It says looks real good. It's a really nice looking monitor. It had a little bit of screen burn, but you really don't see it once the game's on at all. So we have basically 4.5 monitors so far. We need to do a little bit of work on this one, and we need to do a cap kit on that one, and I'll bet you that one will be beautiful. That one works good. So I'm very happy with where we're at so far. I'll order the transistors for this, the 3953s, and Arcade Parts and Repair has those, so I'll order those, but I got to make sure I don't need anything else before I place the order. And then we'll change those out and see if we can get that monitor working. So the tube that we thought was bad, which is that one on the chair right there, was in here. Wasn't the tube, it was the chassis itself. So hopefully it's just a transistor on the neck board. What I think happened was the green transistor is shorted out and it's not letting the other 2 colors through, because that one was testing bad and the other 2 are testing good. So we'll start with that and see what happens. So thanks everybody for watching. Just something a little bit different today. Figured I'd start going through some of these monitors. I still have some more to go through. I'm going to kind of leave this set up here for the weekend probably, or at least another day or two. Pull a couple more monitors out of the back building and stuff, get them labeled, figured out. And this is a dog, not a camel. That's how big and and distorted it is on that down there. If anybody knows about that K7000 with the remote board and why the image is so huge, please let me know. I'm going to see if I can't find a manual on it online or something like that. So thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later.